The disposition to teach has been identified as the most influential quality of highly effective educators. Dispositions are the values, commitments, and professional ethics that influence behaviors towards students, families, colleagues, and communities, and affect student learning, motivation, and development, as well as the educator's own professional growth. Hi, everyone. I'm Dee Dee, and I have been a substitute teacher for almost 10 years, and this year I was hired as a long-term sub for a 6th grade classroom. My principal asked me to start the process to be certified so that I can be hired as a teacher for our district. I had an abundance of compliments from my 6th grade team and other teachers, as well as my observation that made it easy to go back to school for a second master's and pursue my certification. I believe that all students have the ability to learn, and I will advocate for every student to have a positive environment that is conducive to learning. We live in a world of thirst for knowledge, and it's my job not only to teach, but also to have a lifelong pursuit of knowledge myself. Teaching is encompassing theory and practice. I want to not only teach my students and assess student growth, but also to prepare them to become good citizens and be ready for the next steps in life and education. I am a very dedicated educator. I don't believe in doing anything without 110% mind and heart. I'm dedicated to my students, my school, my district, my community, and myself. I believe in recognizing and taking that time when needed to rejuvenate myself so that I can continue to give 110% to everyone else. I've learned that the better I can take care of myself, the better I can take care of others. I believe in experiential education, so I make my classroom a fun and creative place to learn, which motivates students. This takes a lot of time and leads to curiosity with many of our experiences. If there is a challenging question I can't answer or something new comes up, I have no problems researching and finding more answers. Our experiences shape who we become, who we are, and who we change to be. This is why reflection is so important to me. It's important to have time to reflect on content, especially new content, whether that be with testing, essays, or some sort of project. These assessments allow me to see if I have delivered the content well and allow the students to know if they have learned the material well. Reflection makes us use critical thinking and evaluate the outcome of the learning process. I have a lot of compassion for my students and I have built some wonderful relationships. My classroom is a very safe place where education goes on even when a lesson is not in motion. We have life lessons daily and have become a team of respectful, dependable human beings. I truly care about each and every one of them. We also have a very diverse classroom, which is wonderful. We have a few different cultures, and this allows other students to value diversity firsthand. I feel that everyone should have a strong sense of ethnic identity and strive to embrace it. I encourage multicultural foundation to prepare my students to work together despite any differences. There will always be differences and uncomfortable situations, but I always tell my students that it's better to deal with differences in a positive way and to not always worry about winning an argument. It's okay to agree to disagree. I love promoting multicultural learning to eliminate any biases or misconceptions students may have entered with. This leads to fairness. Younger children are very perceptive to favoritism, so it's extremely important to treat each child honestly and fairly. This can be difficult because there will always be students that you may want to favor, the ones that seem to do everything you are thinking before you say it, or that are first to answer, first to help. But as an educator, it's so important to realize that every student learns differently, has different personalities, and this diversity is what makes teaching so fun. By recognizing and understanding diversity in different backgrounds and cultures and learning differences, I continue to move forward and build stronger relationships with students and their families. I need to work on continuing to encourage those that may not do their work to the fullest ability. I also need to remind myself that students face various challenges outside of the classroom. If I can pinpoint those issues early, I can intercede to help them. I've already been evaluated this year and it went really well. I had a score in the higher part of proficient, which my principal said was phenomenal for my first assignment as a long-term substitute. My greatest accomplishment so far was having a 100% increase in oral reading fluency. This not only meant that students increased, but they moved over an entire level. My observation talked about continuing to boost classroom rigor and to remember that kids learn by making mistakes and that organized chaos is wonderful.